Welcome back. In this video, I'm going to explain how to solve systems of equations using substitution method. When we are given a system of equations, it looks like two equations at the same time. And the method of substitution means that we're going to replace one of the equations into the other. We're going to substitute it into the other. So ideally, what you want to look for is if you have an equation in the form of x equals or y equals. If you do, then that's the equation that you're going to substitute into the other. So for example, right here, this equation on top, it says y equals 5x minus 3. That means we're going to replace 5x minus 3 where the value of y is at. So in other words, right here, for this letter y. So that's how we're going to start this process. We're going to write the second equation, 3x minus 8, and instead of rewriting the letter y, we're going to substitute that with the expression of 5x minus 3. So then now what you have is an equation that only has the value of x. So your next step is to solve for x. Now, I'm going to put solve for a variable because sometimes you could have the y instead of the x. So it doesn't really matter as long as you solve for the variable that's there. So this is just solving an equation. Distribute. So we distribute negative 8 into the expression. So negative 8 times 5, that's negative 40. And negative 8 times negative 3, that's positive 24. So then now I bring down everything else. And then the next step in solving, we combine like terms. So we combine 3x and negative 40x. That is a total of negative 37x plus 24 equals 24. So then now we have to solve for x, which means we need to get rid of the constant, this 24 minus 24 minus 24. And that cancels. We're left with negative 37x equals 0. So this is also canceling. And then if we had a number, technically we will divide, but I mean right now we can see that x is 0. But let's go ahead and finish the process. Divide by negative 37, divide by negative 37. So that becomes a 1, x equals 0. So right now what we found is that in this system of equations, when we graph these, we will see two lines touching at one point. And the point consists of two values, the x and y value. And right now we just found the x. So far in our solution, the solution for this system is going to have a 0 for the x, and now we need to find the y. So the next step will be for you to go back to your original equations and pick one of those to solve for the other variable missing. Right here we have the first equation already set up in y equals, so we're going to use that one to solve for y. So I'm going to write y equals 5x minus 3. And now I'm going to use the solution that we found for the x and replace that, or substitute that answer into the x. So we put that 0 in there. And then now we solve for y. So 5 times 0 is 0 minus 3. So y equals negative 3. That means that in our solution, we have an x with a 0 and a y value with a negative 3. And there you go. That's how you find the answer to a system of equations using the substitution method.